Welcome, everyone. This is Finally Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at latest in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week, I'm joined by Krister
Hello.
and Sanswinda.
Hello, everybody.
Hello there. Are you ready for release notes?
No. No.
I guess if we must.
All right. This is release notes for update 46.1 Kingdoms of Parad beta number 2. Yes, this is the second beta. There's likely to be a third beta next week, and that next week's is probably going to be the last beta before. So let's see what's in this one and see if there's anything questionable in here. We'll begin with UI scaling, where the map UI can now be toggled between full screen and panel modes. And the mouse cursors can now be scaled. And also, there is a known issue that the new art for margins in the map window is still a work in progress. Now, for little things in the releases, for classes and skills. And there are quite a number of changes for this one because I think most of these are new items, and there are only a couple of things that were in last week's film. This week we have the renewed defenses effect once again lasts for 3 minutes. For all tank specializations, threat generation from damage has been increased by 50%. I'm sure that makes them happy.
Sounds
Wait, I don't understand.
probable.
They want tanks to hold aggro?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I usually am used to using all my aggro skills so they're all on cooldown, and then having some hunter pull aggro.
On behalf of all hunters, our bad. Oops.
Reducing threat copy overhead from plus 100% threat to plus 10% threat. The potencies of all additional threat effects, such as moderately increased threat or greatly increased threat, have been doubled. The Let Fly skill no longer has an induction, now has a 40-meter range, and now applies bonus threat for guardians and champions in taking specializations, meaning they're thinking maybe the guardians should do their own pulling.
Perfect, actually.
I feel like that's very reasonable.
Yes, because I'm sure there are a lot of guardians that wish they had a long range good pull. The Jarret Menesh travel skills no longer take a scenic detour to Kanagur. Okay.
That should help anybody who's not trying to go to Kanagur.
Yeah, I was wondering that was organized by the committee members of that town. Oh yeah, we'll just have them all come through here. A small service fee and.
Okay. I'm just trying to think about the. I guess they were taking you to the wrong place. Good. I haven't quite gotten any of the Jarret Menesh travel skills, but I probably figure I was a week or two away from. So maybe the update will be out just before I'm ready to get those travel skills. Travel skills to Ahaba and Zijana are now more centrally located. Okay.
That sounds nice.
For the Bjorning, Nature's Mend will no longer play its unique sound for every ally targeted.
That might help lag.
Quite a chorus. Yes. Vicious Claws will no longer reference the deprecated skill Mark of Bjorn. The mounted skill Bee Swarm no longer forces your target to move away from you. Thank goodness! The last thing we needed is something that forces the target to run away from you on a mounted combat skill.
Wait, on a melee character.
Yeah.
Who has to get close to them again to do any damage?
Well, let me point
The
out.
chase is on.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me point out a scenario where even a mounted melee character might want that individual to run away. See, you guys look at it from the I'm competent and I ride my horse, and I use my weapon, and I view all things from trample. So what you do is what's great about a trampling is when you have a victim. I'm not a victim. When you have somebody running in front of you, away from you, and then it's easier to reorient your war steed to maybe hit them again and hit them again and hit them again. Huh?
Okay, that
So
does
it
sound
would
like
be at
fun.
least.
And
I was
honestly, you could use it to get away from them too if you just wanted to keep going in
It's true.
peace. Send your bees after them and then keep on your way.
Yep. All right. Maul is raid wide again. Maul now consumes 5 wrath per second, 10 wrath per second while specialized in the hide. The roar Maul now lasts 6 seconds, down from 8.5 seconds. The hide Maul now lasts as long as you can sustain it with wrath, and its cooldown has been reduced to 5 seconds. The hide Maul no longer taunts enemies, but does generate increased threat each time it deals damage. And the hide Maul now affects enemies up to 10 meters away from you and has a base target count of 10, up from 5.
Hey, Pineleaf, can I
Yeah.
have a mini spoiler on the release notes here? I'm hoping that the term raid wide is used frequently in a lot of the changes. Would that be a hopefully accurate positive statement?
Uh, I don't recall it being used too often, but let's see if my memory is failing me.
Okay, because I'm liking I'm liking the when things go raid wide when
Okay.
you're in a raid. So
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Burglar. The mounted skill trick impugn
Impugn.
impugn. Okay. Yeah. The trick impugn character no longer changes your target's aggression. Captains. Okay. You ready for this, Krister?
okay, I'm sweating.
Okay. Gallant display effects now tear down upon expiration.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. And routing cry now has a 12-meter radius when specialized in the leader of men.
That's awesome. Okay,
Okay. And that's it for captain changes.
I didn't hear any even resembling even close to raid wide there.
Uh,
You better make this up to me, Pineleaf.
I don't think Pineleaf
Well-
wrote these notes. I think he's just the messenger. You should maybe go higher up
higher up the food chain. Yes.
in this
For the
request.
champion. Yeah, yes, for the champion. And Champion's Challenge is now granted automatically when specializing in the Martial Champion. Champion's Challenge cooldown is reduced to 10 seconds. Honor of Gondor damage is increased by 10%. Trading into the Martial Champion now reduces the True Heroics cooldown by 80 seconds. True Heroics in blue no longer restores allies' power. Horn of Champions no longer debuffs enemies. Horn of Champions cooldown has been reduced to 12 seconds, 8 seconds when traded to Rate 2, and now costs 2 Fervor. Clopper still consumes Fervor, but can now be used with no Fervor. Thank you!
That is a good change.
I have had so many times where I was like, why can't I do Clopper? Why can't I do Clopper? Oh, yes. Right. Increase second wind power, restore potency contribution from Fervor. Champion's Challenge debuff has been removed. Adamant base value increased from minus 5% to minus 20%, or minus 40% with max Fervor. And Horn of Champions now has a 12-meter radius. For the Hunter.
Dun dun dun.
Yes. Induction times for Barbed Arrow and Swift Bow have been reduced slightly.
Oh, so they noticed that that was a problem.
Yeah.
Only for those not traded blue line, though.
Okay. Volley's base effect is now granted at a bonus trait while specialized in the Huntsman.
Okay.
Volley now.
I said, okay.
Okay. Volley now only buffs focus spender damage.
Rats.
The original volley trait is now inaccessible to bowmaster and trapper hunters.
I mean, it's a good one.
Huntsman bleed removal bonus damage effect potency has been increased. And the traits plant feet and critical precision have swapped places, making critical precision a bowmaster exclusive trait.
That just makes no sense. Why would you want to plant your feet as a huntsman who moves constantly, and the whole purpose of being a huntsman is to move constantly?
Aha!
I think
The mystery of life.
I think they are mistaken.
I asked the very same question when they made me have to stand still for my in-combat res.
Fair.
As a captain, I should be moving.
I'm just saying, if I'm in blue line, I do not want a bonus for standing still because I do not plan to stand still. That's the whole reason I'm in blue line. Anyway.
Okay, let's see. So how about, let's see. You hold your ground even under enemy fire. You need 30 ranks. Well, let's see. Yeah, while inducting, you take less than 20. But if you're.
But there are no inductions in blue line. None. So you never get the bonus.
This is.
Like it doesn't. Nothing.
Does it look pretty? Does it look pretty at least?
Yeah. I mean,
a cool maneuver or gesture or sparklies or.
It does. Yeah, you're right. It does make sense. Anything called plant feet sounds weird for a huntsman. Yeah, that's.
I'm
okay.
just saying, did they move in all of this? Did they move the thing to? They didn't put it in yellow line though, so it has to still be in blue.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so I'm looking
Sam
here
says,
for my. Where is it? Critical precision.
Okay, let's see. So, anyway, Sam was saying they must have been needling the pine.
I don't know if critical precision is even available anymore, though. Because, that came from being in precision stance, you could toggle it on. So I don't know where that even is anymore in any of the lines.
Okay,
well, but it was more useful for blue line. Well, for anybody using precision stance, too, but...
I thought stances were removed or something weird like that.
They were removed, which is why I'm not sure where this ended up, because I'm not seeing it on the wiki even.
Oh well, I guess we will have to find out when it's released. Guardians! The potencies of force attack duration traceries have been reduced to 20% of current values.
Ouch.
Well, is that why?
That sounds ouch by my reading of it.
Yeah. I mean, is that kind of balancing for the increase? Oh,
it could have been to balance out the other changes. Maybe that's the only thing I could think of. Demoralizing anthems no longer change the radius of war chant. War chant's default radius has been increased from 10 meters to 12 meters. And Shield Swipe, after being changed to an AoE skill, was still using the single target trait bonus and not the AoE trait bonus. This has been fixed. So that means that Guardians will like to have the AoE trait. I guess if Guardians are acting as tanks, they might be traded with AoE rather than single target anyway, I guess. All right, any comments? Nope. All right, let's go to Lore Master. The mounted skill, Sign of Power Inspiration, no longer applies a damaging effect while in Red Dawn stance. For the Minstrel, this is going to be the most controversial of them all, based on what I heard. Call to Greatness no longer resets allies' capstone skill cooldowns.
Then what's the purpose of using it ever? That's like its whole gimmick, is that it helps your whole raid by resetting your allies' capstone skills.
Yeah. Also, Call to the Capstones now temporarily increases your morale by 50% and reduces your incoming damage by 50% or increases your outgoing damage by 25% depending on your specialization. So
it's an individual skill now instead of a group
buff.
It's
an individual skill. It's a call for greatness in the minstrel, which sounds weird because I thought minstrels were supposed to be inspiring others.
I think that's because they didn't want to write "oh crap." I mean, it sounds like they're turning it from like calling everybody to be great to being like, "oh crap, I'm gonna die."
Yeah. All right. Minus 120 seconds. Call to Greatness cooldown. So some set bonuses also reduced from minus 60 to minus 30. So that means that
you can use it more often, but it doesn't help anybody but you.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Bolster Courage and Raise the Spirits healing has been increased by 15%, and the power cost has been increased slightly. For the Runekeeper, Writ of Health healing reduced by 5%.
Okay.
For crafting and hobbies, fishing should now work in several areas it previously was not, particularly in Rohan and Gondor.
Nice.
Okay. Now,
where was it not working that it seemed like it should? Do you know?
I have absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
Me neither, because you can usually fish in puddles.
Yeah, well, I think that that there must have been, if there's something wrong, it must have been something only recently because.
Well, I think
that's fair. I haven't been fishing.
Yeah, and the reason is because in Rohan, I think the complaints were because of the fishing quest in Hootbold, but I had no trouble with the fishing quest in Hootbold when I took a character through Hootbold recently.
So maybe it was a recent not working problem.
Yeah. So my guess is it's something that happened in update 46 then.
Or maybe now you can fish out of a beer stein, or you can fish out of a pie.
Okay. Well, okay, let's go to quests, deeds, and adventure areas. Quest dialogue 4, The Fate of the Motorwood, has been revised to account for some previous adventures.
That sounds cool.
And I know exactly which quest text area you're talking about, because there's somebody that would normally know you very, very well if you did certain quests in Mordor that you meet in Motorwood. And so I think they were updated so that if you did meet them, they would greet you as if you'd done stuff with them before, rather than someone like you're a total stranger or something like that. So I know exactly what they're talking about. I hope I got another character that's going to go through them recently so I could see it with the right dialogue.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Various chairs and benches throughout Gondor and Rohan have been updated to now accept the /sit emote. Miscellaneous travel route issues in Ansharu and Idigal have been resolved. Miscellaneous object placement issues in Ansharu and Adagim have been fixed. Miscellaneous terrain texture issues in Ansharu have been fixed. And a stuck spot in Ansharu has also been fixed. All travel routes from locations in Adagim as well as Vartulin and Shonith now use the Oryx mount instead of a horse mount. The
That
Hamadi
sounds
task.
cool.
Okay, yeah, right. The Hamadi task quest Morjala Hamati task Sunbaked Axes and Morjala Hamati task Sunscorched Sword Sheaths have had their turn-ins items reversed. This has been fixed. Note the task quests have been versioned upon release. And I was getting really, really, really confused by this one because I would take the quest and I'm wondering, what do you mean I don't have enough of these? I'm looking at a full stack of these axes right now. And what happened is I was taking the axe quest and it was doing the short sword sheet quest instead. So I was down to 7 sword sheets because it was turning all those in. So it was giving me trouble as a result of that.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. And let's see. Rotating and static regional quests introduced in the Kingdoms of Harad expansion pack are now bestowed from 4 settlements throughout the expansion regions. New regional quest boards in Sulmadash, Zajana, and Jirimanesh and the Dawn Warden settlements will display the bestowal for these daily and weekly quests. Thank you, because I think it was only at one place, and I always forget where they're at and stuff like that. Fix an issue where you could not reaccept our end of the deal if you abandoned it because Mizadi is missing from the bridge fort of Imaxdul. You can now also accept this quest from Kostrada Saya inside the palace royal living quarters if you abandoned it while inside the palace. And we remove the sparkles that make the reputation object found throughout Murjala appear to be lootable regardless of reputation rank or keys. Thank you very much. I was getting annoyed seeing all those Chloe rep items that I can't use yet.
That's hysterical. That reminds me of that SOS when they had the SOS emote introduced, and there's one guy standing off with the ring over his head, and there's this cluster of 100 people around him. I tried to click on him.
Yeah.
So I can imagine the frustration, because I was one of those 100 people that was trying to click on it.
The joys. Instances and skirmishes. Voiceover has been added to Dune Shuma, the King's Fortress. Actually, Chris, now that you think of it, someone was suggested to me is that during the skirmish event to stand next to Netta Pinleaf.
Oh, that would be so. That would be the day that we understood that Pineleaf turned to evil.
Yes. Why did I receive a 15-day ban? All right. Wailing Hold. Adjusted hit visualization on several abilities. Tier 2. Fountain of Blood skill should now properly activate. Adjusted damage on Reither's Rain of Arrows skill on Boss 1. Oh, actually, Wailing. I shouldn't be reading this because that's the new instance, so they haven't seen it yet on live. Missions and Delvings. A mission to bring good cheer will now also advance when completing mission Crown of Hamat quest. Okay, so apparently they missed the Crown of Hamat quest the last time during the last Yule Festival. Added an exit door to mission Armed Saboteur and mission Routing Reinforcements.
Always nice to be able to exit.
Housing and decorations. Fixed a bug where the Belfalis boat post housing decoration would only allow players to select the item via its floating name. Players should now be able to properly select the item from anywhere on the object. Thank you. Items and rewards. Mirai Ethelon tokens now correctly give a level 160 appropriate resistant buff.
Woohoo!
All right. Level 160 consumable class items which execute skills such as burglar marbles, throwing knives, lore master pet food, etc. now correctly execute as level 160 skills.
Woohoo!
I just need these recipes to drop.
What level were they? I'm assuming just 150, but were they operating at a lower level than that, or
presumably?
Or do you even know?
What? Oh, the tokens?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what happened is that I believe, based on what I've heard some people say, is that they were identical in all ways to the Umbari tokens.
Okay.
And I guess that there are some items in there that should scale with level. Since they give more than just hope, I think the Umbari ones also gave.
Or if that was copy paste of the code issue.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. All right. So fixed a bug where certain one- and two-handed hammers were not properly displaying cosmetic weapon auras. Changed the names of some NPCs involved in the Song of Waves and Wind, Chapter 13, so that they match the quests. Is this a certain wizard they're talking about or something like that? Nah. Okay, some tracery tokens, sealed traceries, enhancement runes, and other packages that were in the mail system when players are logged in for update 46 or 46.0.1 are displaying a general error when attempting to open them because they are missing their max content level. This issue is now corrected as long as these packages are no longer in the mail system when first logging into update 46.1.
In other words, take them out of your mail before 46.1.
Take them out of your mail before update 46.1 is released, yes. All base morale multiplier traceries now correctly display their names and potencies as intended, and no longer erroneously suggest that they grant plus 5.5% max morale at lower rarities. Yep. Okay, yep. 5.5 should be just the gold ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the tier 16 brawler tracery finishing attack damage no longer erroneously refers to a non-existent skill.
That's good. Also, I read that initially as fishing attack damage. And I was wondering what the brawlers were up to.
Umbariel Luckstone potions now require your character to be between levels 141 to 150 to use. Okay. In other words, they're making it so they're not usable by. Yeah, as soon as you hit 151, it'll stop working. I think it probably used to be
doing that to things.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, so, I don't even get it because an adult drinks a Jolt, a 3-year-old drinks a Jolt. It's going to have the same effect. Well, maybe not.
So Mario,
I feel like this is more like a 21-year-old versus a 22-year-old drinks it.
True. That probably was a much better comparison.
Definitely a much better comparison. Yeah, I do not recommend giving Jolt to a 3-year-old.
I don't recommend it, but we all know what happens.
I'm sure there is someone out there who did it, and they're wondering why their child seems to be walking on the ceiling.
He never slept again.
Oh, well. Yes, okay. Travelers and adventurers quartermaster NPCs can now be found in Sulmadash.
That sounds good.
I think that's the LOTRO equivalent of getting a McDonald's in your town.
All right. I'm trying to remember which town is Sulmadash.
I don't remember, but that sounds like a newer place than going back to however many areas ago.
Oh, that's the elf. Oh, yeah, that's the elf. Yeah, that's the southern elf place in the Moulderwood. All right.
Because I was still going back to like any other previous level cap area throughout the Umbar thing. I was like, nope, nobody in Umbar, but you can go back and talk to somebody in the Three Peaks or talk to somebody at Scarhold? Maybe it was the other one down there. But no, not an Umbar.
Oh, well. All legacies still remaining in pre-imbuement legendary items have had their effects reduced in potency to close several exploit pathways.
Alas.
That's kind of funny because, I've adamantly held on to this one sword. And my speculation about it is that they say that we have a bunch of legendary weapons, but that's not true. The true legend is in who manufactured that weapon, and that it'll be never manufactured by anybody, that person ever again. And so I wonder if that sword could have been exploited. But then again, I'm not an exploiter, so if they gave me the power, I'd be thanking them, but I wouldn't
just wish I could keep my legendary item from before that's important to me because of who made it in a special storage space that was not taking up my inventory.
Well,
like my vault.
I agree. That's why I think 30% of my shared storage is nostalgia.
Yeah.
Which is pathetic, but you look at it, you're like, I worked so hard to get this. I can't throw it away. I can't.
Right.
Let's have a look at PvP in the Etmors. Etmor Scrolls of Battle Warding now give level 160 appropriate mitigation buffs. Etmor's Root Potions now correctly cleanse slows when used. Level 160 PvP Essences now correctly display as Tier 16. Morale and Power Potions purchased with Marta at outposts in the Etmors now properly increase power and morale by 5%. All Monster Play breakout skills now correctly remove fear,
crowd control.
Crowd control, yes, fear, crowd control effects, and War Leader. Commander stance now states the correct cooldown reductions for quitters never win when using Crack the Whip or Quit Whining and Fight.
Why can captains have that skill?
Anyway, Sam was wondering if the one sword should be thrown back to the Lady of the Lava Lake.
She'll just redistribute it.
Okay.
That would be a problem.
Art and avatars. Mounted loot and Theorbo playing has been corrected.
Cool.
And as for miscellaneous, fixed a bug in the kinship calendar where RSVP status was being cut off.
Sounds good. Also, I have a theory about the hunter thing.
Okay.
I theorize that there's a typo there. And that these notes erroneously mention critical precision, which is now defunct, instead of critical eye, which is a Bowmaster line trait that's near the beginning of it. And if this is true, it would put plant feet in row 1 and critical eye as a capstone skill instead of vice versa. That might not be true, but that is at least a current hunter skill.
Okay.
And
I guess we will find out when the
if so,
when
the
actual
result
release
would
comes
be
out.
that lower level hunters have less DPS, which why? But anyway.
Oh well. Anyway, that's it for the 46.1 beta number 2 release notes. So quite a bit in there, and we will probably have another bull roar next week with a full release the week after that. So then, let's then have a look at our next time there, where Scenario went and had a casual stroll through the Brandywine River.
That sounds like maybe it would have been a better place for a swim.
Yeah. Perhaps a casual swim through the brand. What he is doing is
maybe
he had
stroll down the Brandywine River banks.
Yeah, I guess. Well, let's see. He did spend quite a bit of time in the water on there. Because what he was doing was, of course, starting a new series. Because last year he was going through the roads. Before that he was going through the various zones piece by piece, and now he's going to be going through the various rivers.
That sounds like fun. And I guess you could kind of stroll through them in LOTRO.
Yeah. It's not like swimming is a major thing in LOTRO, since you are always your head is always above the water, and they don't have to worry about a breathing mechanism or anything like that. It's not like in DDO where they have dungeons where you are required to actually swim underwater.
Right. And also, you can swim faster by jumping so that you walk for a few seconds. I'm not sure that's casually strolling, but,
I remember doing that in Evanim all the time.
It's like, you can tell who swam through Lake Everswimming.
Yeah, you can tell who had been swimming for a while and who was new, because they'd just be plugging right along and everybody else would be jumping.
Yeah. Anyway, Sam suggests as casual drinking of the river of brandy.
You think that river would be long gone, but by that age,
It was brandy. Fair.
Okay.
Go ahead and continue, Pilot. You're doing great.
I'm just wondering, if
he remembers.
Because in Pennsylvania they have what's officially Brandywine Creek, but looks like half the people call it Brandywine River anyway. It's like, so does that mean that river is really, really, I guess, brandy color muddy, like the one in
That honestly makes far more sense.
Yeah, I can't imagine calling a river the Brandywine unless it's a distinctive color.
Fair.
All right. Anyway, let's see. Anyway, we have a link to the YouTube video on there where you could watch his hour time going through there into the river, and starting from the headwaters, which were at the rills, up at the even rills. So up in Lake Even, then he went down the river all the way down. He did note that originally there were no plans to connect the Cardolan and Shire portion in the Old Forest portions of the Brandywine, but he apparently snuck in some extra time so that he could get them together, because he said it'd be a crying shame to have the river with so much of it there and this little bit still missing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And anyway, he's going to be going for I guess for the next several months. He's going to go through the various rivers throughout Middle Earth and giving us a nice look. He might have to divide Anduin into more than one episode because the Anduin is a really long river.
Fair.
Yes. And that is it for our news this week. So let's go and see what is on sale. Sans, what's on sale this week?
Well, this week you can store, carry, and share with 20% off select vault storage and shared storage, and select inventory slots, if you haven't already maxed them out, through January 15th. And your weekly coupon you should claim on somebody other than your hunter. It is a free tome of tracking. I'm just going to throw that out there. Free tome of tracking with the coupon code Found the Scent. All smashed together, no spaces, and all caps. And that is also good through January 15th.
All right. Then let's go and see what we were doing in gaming this week. Krister, what were you up to?
Well, last night a dark cloud descended upon the members of Ploy, and I hung out with them for a couple hours. So went and talked to the group that was playing last night. Had a lot of fun. There's a lot of the older members there, or several of the older members there, and we were talking about our plans going forward, and that I really do need to get off my captain's derriere and start leveling Krister. But the good news was I was given assurances that if I wanted it, I could have plenty of support doing that as well. So I think inevitably, I think I'll grab some experience accelerators and power through it. But it was great talking to him and hanging out. And then I played, and I don't recommend this ever. I played Borderlands 3 with a couple friends who were just starting to play the game. And then later, 2 days later, I played Borderlands 2 with a couple friends. And going from 3 to 2 was horrible because there's a lot of really cool things in 3 that you don't have in 2. And so so that was kind of a bah humbug moment, but actually it was a lot of fun. But and then playing ESO and some Helldivers, and overall great gaming week. Sans, what have you been up to?
Well, I did some cooking in LOTRO, and that was successful. Completed a weekly quest with it, and started working on Tales and Tribute in ESO again. The digital card game that would be completely destroyed if those cards were real. That's finally found it out. But I'm still really good at losing. So
yeah, just keep playing. Yeah, I got highly addicted to that dumb game. But when you start getting when you just start playing and you get the payouts, you get some really cool stuff too. So it is worth it.
So I'll persevere for a little bit. I was trying to get rapport with Zarethvar, so I'll keep working on it. And then I ran some dungeons, killed some world bosses, and unlocked more companions on more alts in ESO as well, which was also fun. And that was pretty much my week in gaming. How was your week in gaming, Pineleaf?
We'll begin with my warden, who continued the story of the Song of Waves and Wind. And I also did some fishing and finally caught some of those Atagame catfish. I also determined that the fishing catches in the new area seems to be pretty much the same as the fishing we had in Umbar, meaning not particularly good. I think the only change into it that I am pretty sure of is that they replaced the regular catfish with Atagame catfish. So I did manage to get some of those catfish in there, and that meant I was able to finally make some of the new food for my warden. And I put it all into my hotbar and did all this stuff in there, and the next day I realized that somehow I got 2 of the food items mixed up, and that the main edibles in there I did sold. Somehow I managed to sell all that food I made after all that trouble catching those fish.
Oh no!
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you make a lot of money?
Not worth selling my food. Well, anyway, so that was a little bit of. Sam says, "Don't get catfished." I don't. Not sure what getting catfished is. I mean, to me, I could imagine in Egyptian what getting catfished meant because the Nile catfish is electrical. So if you pull one up and try to touch it, you'll get electrocuted.
Fine, you are aware that they've evolved from fly fishing to catfishing now, right? So now, now think about it though. When you're fly fishing, you're just deploying one hook. You throw a cat in there, you got 4 claws, 4 fish. Oh, you even got his mouth, 5 fish. It would just
now I know why the catfish has to be electrical in those parts.
Oh, you have to electrocute the cat.
So you can electrocute the cats.
Oh man.
Yes. With the Merry Crew, my Mariner reached 115, so now we are heading for Mordor. Well, right now we haven't quite made it to the camp yet, to the host's camp yet, but we are on our way there so that we could enter into Mordor.
You guys could sail on that river.
What? Yeah.
If only you guys could sail on that river to get there. Isn't there like a river?
Well, what do you mean? Trying to sail up the Mordruin?
Yeah.
You do realize you do realize that the Mordruin is
for a mariner to do it.
He just doesn't like mariners, Pineleaf.
Yeah, I know. That's right. He wants all the mariners to go up there at 115, despite the fact that it was a level 125 zone or something.
Oh, perfect. Like no problem at all.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I will not think about that. All right. And in ESO, I decided that it was time to take a concerted effort to clear out my inventory because my inventory was getting a little bit too tight in there. And
that's how you had 100-some spaces.
Yeah. So what I decided to do is all those treasure maps that I had. I had some treasure maps in my inventory that went back to the original game launch. So I went in, got and found the items on every single one of those. So therefore, I got rid of all the treasure maps. Of course, now I have 2 in my inventory because I got a couple from.
Yeah, that'll be a never-ending
system. But I have very, very few of those left. So I went from, I think I had something like 160 inventory that was filled to having 160 inventory that is now empty.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
Oh yeah. So that's nice and nice. It did help that during the time I did finally decide to get my own ghillie so that I could break down all those items in there.
Fair.
Yeah. So that did also help quite a bit in the matter in there, but most of it was taking out all those leads in there. If I had any furniture items in there, I put them into a chest inside a house so that it would be a place where I could place them, or I placed them in the house for them. If it were something that was likely to be useful to an alt, then I put those into the bank. And if it was something that, do I really want this? No, I don't think so. Then I deleted those. Like, for example, one of the things was taking up all of my space for all those charity writs from the New Year celebration. That was taking up 20 slots by itself.
Yeah, that's so frustrating because you feel like wouldn't it be if you guys could just have a scroll case? Because these are papers, right? I mean, you should be able to stack them on one another, and it shouldn't be taking up so much space.
Yeah, but anyway, so I got rid of if there was a writ that I was not able to do. Like there's some of those master writs in there had been sitting in my inventory for a couple of years because they required a trait or a style that I did not have. I said, no, don't worry. If I can't do it and I can't get the style or trait I need immediately, I'm just getting rid of it for now on. I'm not going to worry about it.
Sounds like a good idea, actually. I'm going to have to take a note of this, finally.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just had those things in there. It's not master writs. Yeah, they're crazy. And also I did it because they started a new Golden Pursuit this week, and I managed to finish it just before today's podcast. So now I have the ultimate prize, the capstone reward for this month's Gold Pursuits, and that is that's the polar bear mount.
Ooh, how does it look?
Ooh, maybe the next time we're in game together, I could show it to you.
Yeah,
it is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, personally, I think it looks better in game than it looks in the pictures that they show.
I think that's accurate.
I really do like the variety of mounts in ESO. I mean, a lot of fun things to ride. And a mammoth. Yeah. We need a Moomock in LOTRO. We need a Moomock.
Yes. Anyway, that is my week in gaming. If you would like to send us some feedback, you could send it to podcast@loachplayers.com. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Loach Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. Which was our shows at loachplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Finally Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.